Hey everybody, welcome to Trend Rebel. I'm going to do a quick market recap for today for a couple of our favorites and take a look at how we did on the pivots. So let's do this one here. These are all on the 1 minute here. We've got our daily down channel center line at 602.57. Our market opened at approximately uh, a couple of cents above the pivot. So we opened there, took some breathing room up, rode a 5 minute nine all the way up to our other pivot here. Excuse me, towards our current price structure here, which is about the halfway point going on up. You'll notice when we came up here, we stalled out at this monthly pivot, lost it briefly, came back up, took about half of the space to get from uh, the this channel center line to this other steep channel that we're going here. There's a channel bottom. We're getting to the peak here too. So we know that this is the top that we're looking for with the breakout. If we take that, then it will be a massive amounts of growth past that. But we do know it's heavy resistance for us right now. So we bounced off of approachment to there, popped back down. Bounced off a 5 minute 370 SMA here, played around a little bit with that, and then that 5 minute 200. So we played the games here with the SMAs. Lots of chop here to play with. Overall, an up day. Give you just a little bit of stress in terms of what we looked at here. Overall, that's our kind of our trend. So we had a nice up day overall, but it wasn't without all its chop here. Another bounce up here. Follow that through with more chop. Everybody was looking for puts here. They got a little bit of some action down here to the 5 minute 50. Bounced back up into the 5 minute 20 and 9, which we played some flatness all the way to the end. That was it from a 1 minute perspective, looking at today's market for SPY. Let's take a look over at NVDA, give us some confluence to this. Obviously, one of the major pieces here. A little bit different too. There's a bar chart, so it gives us a little better understanding here. So here's our market open right here. We had a massive upswing going up to our daily pivot, that 134.73. Pumped up to there, came back tested the 132.55 pivot right here, with some support from the 5 minute 20 and the 5 minute 50. Helped push that back up to level off here. We had some chop out through, and then the bottom fell out right around noon, about 11:45 here, lunchtime. Volume went down, and we saw the bottom fall out of here with some light trading down into past the 5 minute 370 and into this weekly black hole bottom, which ultimately gave support and pushed things back up. And we had some ranging between the weekly black hole bottom and the daily steep down channel as they converged here, followed by a little bit of push back up into the mid-range between the two key pivots here for the day, and some chop waning off into the close. We did close very close to the daily steep pivot here at that channel top. So interesting place for us to close. Leaves us wondering tomorrow where we're going to go. After hours trading is showing us up slightly, but I think what we're going to see here is this back testing come through. So let's look at it on a macro scale here on the 4 hour, not macro, but 4 hour. Sorry, I'm always zoomed all the way in. And you can see we've had a pretty straight run here with NVIDIA, you know, giving us a really nice growth opportunity here for the stock. We haven't had a lot of catching up. We did see the 4 hour 20 start to come here. It flattened, The 4-hour 9 is offering some nice support with a 46, almost 47-degree angle pushing us up. That'll be our back test tomorrow, most likely. As this continues to rise overnight, we will see those probably collide into tomorrow, and then we'll find some direction here. Key pivot of the day was at this 134.73, which is basically the high, and we continue to look for NVIDIA to push either higher or pull back there. So this is kind of another crucial point, as we talked about with SPY, for NVIDIA. We'll take a look at one more before I shut this down. I'm going to look at Tesla. Tesla's got a pile of pivots. And the reason that this is all consolidated here, these pivots, is the massive amount of movement that we're getting out of Tesla. We can see today with the candles that we had today, we had some serious floor fall out of here. We finally got down to TR's range here in the 331, which is that daily down channel boundary. So we're there. We have support here with this weekly pivot at 319. Let's take a look at it from a micro level, and we'll zoom in a little bit here and see what the day actually looked like from a pivot standpoint, and wrap this one up. So this is the opposite story of SPY today. So we basically saw Tesla open up and immediately continue its journey downward. The trend here is overwhelmingly on the 1 minute anyway, for the day, a downward. We had one spike up off the pivot here, the down channel bottom. Let me just put those pivots a little more in perspective for you guys. Draw that line. So we'll bring these pivots out so that you can see them a little better. Here we go. So we had a spike down here, a little bit of traction here. Gave us a good opportunity once we lost this channel center line. Typically, when you lose or gain a center line, you go to the other end of the channel. So losing that center line gave us a expedited track down to the bottom of that channel. You won't always see them this quickly, but today we did. We got a 10-point run here. That would have been a nice put play. Even if you had bought it long term to wait for it, you still would have made very nicely as a day trade. Scalping would have given you some nervousness here as we came back up. I'm going to zoom into that to show you what I mean there a little bit. So if you were scalping this down, obviously we came down. You're right about the halfway point. Remember, a halfway point is a good frame of reference when scalping. So when we lost this pivot, we had some stuff going here. You would have kept your baseline here. You would have been safe. But the halfway point, you would have gotten a little nervous as this thing turned around. There are some candles shooting straight up here. And then we almost got to there. But the nice thing about it is if you held through on this back test, you'll notice we never got there. So this would have been the better play to jump in on, letting the initial penetration of the pivot stand, let it go down to about the halfway point. And we usually see that. We usually see between 10% and 50% of the run go before you get to the back test. That actually means something. These over here do not. This is your back test here. This back test came and it failed. It did not meet the goal. This was your buy in here. It was a quick decision. You buy on the way up to that pivot, and you use the pivot as your backstop. Then we saw the nice drop down here. They couldn't be any nicer here. Fell through the 5-minute 9. It dragged everything down. Lost the 20. Pulled that down. Pulled the 9 with it, and we went right to this pivot. So beautiful pivot trade here on a short. We saw the bounce off of that, and we continue to see some consolidation over here with the peaks coming and all that. So we will back test this here as well before morning, most likely, and we'll see where Tesla brings us. On a macro scale, which we were looking at before, or at least the 4-hour, we can see that that all of this driving down here is giving us some great buying opportunities to get in on Tesla. I don't see any shopping carts in any of my pivots, but there is a price target down here at 316 as a worst case. So this is still on the table. Below that, we have a shopping cart here at the weekly box bottom. So if you're familiar or remember the boxes, let me just zoom this in a little bit so you can get them a little tighter. So we don't have that much more to go to get to 312. We covered more than that ground already today. So if we did, so that would be a good buying opportunity here if we got down there. Sell if lost, obviously, but if we can buy that and keep it using this monthly cylinder channel as a backstop there as well. Um, that's about it. Thanks for joining me, guys, and talking it through with SPY, NVIDIA, and Tesla. One of these days, I'll get TR on here with me, and we'll get into some more depth of these analyses. But I wanted to put something so that you guys had a little bit of a recap of some of our most important players for the day. Thank you.